We are live. We back.
What up, though? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Soulful Stir. I'm Diamond Simone.
And I'm Tosh.
You know the drill.
Girl.
Tell me something good.
Well, I mean, I guess it happened to me too, but so we all know last week was Father's Day, and Royce's dad was able to actually win tickets to some free tickets to the Tigers game. So we were able to go and see the Tigers play, and that's really such a sensitive subject for us because we would always like take him to Tigers games like before he passed away. So that's like one of the things that every year we try to keep this tradition of like, you know, going to at least one game because that was something that he really enjoyed. So it was very interesting for him to win that because it was just a random drawing. So I just kind of wrote it off as Royce making sure his dad had something for Father's Day this year. So that's probably my good news for the week.
Well, that's amazing. And shout out to Michael for winning the tickets. Shout out to y'all for being great parents. And shout out to Royce for working his magic from the other side.
It happens more often than not. Like ever so often, like I'll run into a situation where something just randomly happens. Like the situation will just in a snap of a finger just kind of turn around. Like, oh, well, no, we don't have this. Oh, no, yes, we do. Actually, we got it. We only got one left type of situation. And I always like, oh, that's my son. Like he always want to make sure his parents have everything that we need. So I'm grateful.
Well, that's beautiful, and I can definitely side with you on that. So yeah, shout out to y'all. Sure wish I was going to a Tigers game, but I am not. I should go to at least one this year. I've only been to one Tigers game in my life, and I really enjoyed myself. But I'm hoping to get more Tigers game experiences in,
Yeah.
But I will share that my good news is that I got my bike out the bike shop. I never thought I'd be this person putting my bike in the bike shop for a good reason. I actually found this really nice bike on Facebook Marketplace because bikes are, like for a nice bike, it's astronomically high right now. And
yeah,
so
if you're getting like a mountain bike, you can go get your little cruiser.
Well, mine is a cruiser, but I think it's a 6-speed bike with it has a braking system and everything. So I got it off Facebook Marketplace for a good deal, and I ended up taking it to the bike shop to get it tuned up. They had to replace the chain, and they replaced the braking system on it, so everything is brand new. And they did it for a nice price, and they were super cool in the shop. It made me want to work at a bike shop.
I'm not about to go there with you tonight. I'm not
I was
about to go there with
they
you.
so cool. They were just so cool and so chill in there. They was listening to first time I went in there, they were listening to DMX. Second time I went in there, they were listening to Peasy, which I thought was very interesting. It's a predominantly white shop. I'm not saying that white people can't listen to hip hop music. That's not what I'm saying, but it was just an interesting vibe, and I was like, okay, they seem like cool people. And then the second time I went in there, they offered me, the guy offered me some frozen grapes, but they were kind of freeze-dried grapes.
Were they sour?
A little bit.
Because I buy did they come in, are they I think they call it Fruity Tooty or something like that. It's a brand that they sell at Target and Costco. I absolutely love them. They frozen and they have a little bit of a candy coating on the outside of them, and it kind of reminds you of remember when you was growing up, you used to eat crybabies, like the gum, and it has that sour on the outside, but it's not real bad, and that's how those are.
I don't remember it being sour to that degree, but I do know that it was marketed as a kid's snack. So it kind of tastes like biting into it. It kind of reminded me of like, this must be what those little yogurt puffs taste like to kids in a way. Like it had like that kind of crunchy consistency, which was interesting and confusing because I was like, why does this taste like this?
Yeah.
And maybe I should have saved this for the delicious dive. But here we are.
Yeah.
You didn't think the dive was going to come to you so soon, did you? No, but overall, I'm just very excited to get up and rolling. And, you know, I got a nice bike, rides very well. I'm proud about it. I have my little hatch on my truck where I just like take my bike with me wherever I want to ride. So I'm looking forward to doing that. You want to jump into mind, body, and balance? Or you got something else you want to talk about?
No, my mind, body, and balance is quick. It's actually kind of more of a continuation of where we were last week. Yes, I still think gyms are a racket. That won't change. But I do believe, once again, once you get the right package and you use those amenities, it's like chef's kiss, because in these last few weeks, I have been very intentional about working out and doing at least 10 minutes in the sauna of like intentional sweating after my workout. And I've seen people in the last few weeks that I haven't seen since I've started this. And they're like, do you got on makeup? Like, your face looking pretty good. What you been doing? I'm like, nothing. I've been just going to the sauna. So I just, I know sometimes as ladies, we often talk about, we don't like to sweat and all that other stuff. And I'm somebody that sweats in my head so bad. I get it. We don't like it. But I'm telling you, like, that combo, like you got to get that sweat out. Like, that combo, it just does wonders for your skin. And I just think for your body, and at, these tender ages that some of us are at, it's good to like just rid your body of certain stuff. And I like the sauna just for that kind of detox factor. So like it kind of balances out and it gives you a little bit of recovery in a bit of a way after a good workout. I like to sit in the sauna, keep my headphones on, put like, a little subliminal or some kind of meditative music on and just sit there and close my eyes. I might stretch out a little bit, do something, but that just brings me down from the workout. It gives me a little bit of balance. Mm-hmm. But what I'm really doing it for is those skin benefits, like, because I call myself, so I was going to talk about this on my personal TikTok. But since we do talk about that on here, I might as well bring it up because I wanted to do a review and I'm still probably going to do one. But so I let the girlies a few months ago talk me into buying a new cleanser. I've always been really particular about using, vegan or organic body products, all this good stuff. And so that used to the people, like, it's like the green tea, spinach, and kale
that smells so
cleanser that everybody's using now that comes in a fancy glass bottle. And I went to Sephora and I rushed out and got it. And I fucking hate it.
I knew she was about to say
I
that.
don't like
I'm
it.
watching her body language.
As somebody who works out a lot and sweats a lot, I don't feel like it gets my skin clean. Now, I'm upset for one because it's cheaper than what I actually have been using for years. So I thought I was, I was trying to cut a little cost here and there and try it out. But I'm going to go back to my Dermalogica. For years, I've been using Dermalogica skin clearing gel. And when I tell you that gets your face squeaky clean.
I like their products too.
With no drying behind it. But it is also for somebody, because it's a special cleansing gel, with more of an oily skin. So it does what it's supposed to do. And I've used it for years. And when I'm very, very consistent with my cleansing and making sure that I'm drinking enough water, my skin is completely flawless when I use the special cleansing gel. I thought I was going to have similar results. And what's funny is before I even tried it, I mentioned on the last episode, my best friend owns a spa. So I called Delilah. I was like, listen, I'm going to send you a picture of this stuff because she uses like a different professional grade product at her salon, or her spa rather. And so I sent her this. I was like, listen, I've been seeing this on TikTok. What do you think I should do? She was like, the ingredients are really good. She was like, try it. I think it'll be good on your skin. I don't like it. And I really tried to give it a really good effort. Like, so much so that I've been using it for probably about a month now. I'm halfway through the bottle. And I thought it was going to change. And I think the reason why I stuck around with it for so long is because I was going through different changes while I was using it. So I was trying to give it a fair shot. Like, I was inconsistent at one point with my working out. And then I went to Miami. So I was in like extreme heat in the sun. Then I went to Vegas and I was dealing with that climate change. And then, so for the last week and a half, I've been back and I've been consistent and I ain't been doing nothing but drinking water. And I'm like, this stuff still ain't cleaning my face. Like, my face feels dirty. And I don't like that. Like, I just don't like that.
Yeah, no, I get that 1000%. You definitely got to be careful with trying new products. I actually remember using that product for a short period of time. I did like it. I feel like my skin felt a little stripped. Like, after using it, it didn't feel like, like still moisturized a little bit. You still have that little bit of moisture. I don't like when products do that, like make my skin feel stripped. And I have combination skin, so sometimes it's more oilier than not.
Yeah.
But I'm like combination, maybe a little bit more on the oily side. So to have that strip my skin, I was like, I'm good.
Have you been using the Good Molecule still?
Yes, I started using that from the when I called you that day, and I feel like I'm seeing the difference in my skin. Like, even this mark, like here, it feels like, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but it feels like my skin is clearing up. So I've been using that in combination with Medicube vitamin C pads.
That's crazy because I want to try the Medicube, the collagen mask,
I've heard that
overnight one.
Yeah, I've heard that is the collagen. I have that. Yeah. That is really, really good.
But see,
and your skin does look like
glass. Well, that's another reason why I'm upset about the cleansing, because I didn't want to get the Medicube mask until I don't want to put that on. And like at night, if I don't feel like I've gotten a good clean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to.
Have you been using like a lot of it? Well, it don't matter. Just take it back to Sephora and get your money back.
Did I get it from Sephora? I think I did. And they'll take it back?
You said you went to Sephora. Yes.
I either got it from Sephora or Ulta.
You can try.
I know they'll take it back at Ulta.
So one thing at Sephora, like, people, because I used to work there in college.
And I used to work at Ulta in law school. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really crazy. People used to come in and return like anything. And it could be like a nicely used product. They will take it back.
Yeah, I got like literally half a bottle of it.
Yeah, I would probably, because they don't really know, like, you could have spilled a significant part of it. Who knows? But even with that, they will take it back. If it's a product that you don't like, you can return it. And you can also, fun fact, you can sample anything in Sephora. They have little sampling kits for almost anything in the store, especially fragrances. People like to come in and they will give you a small vial of a fragrance for you to try, that sample size. Now, this was back in 15, 14, when I worked there. Things could have changed. I don't think so, though. I feel like the policy is still the same. I know the return policy is you could return stuff. So take it back. Get your money back. I'm just going to share for my mind, body, and balance. I am learning the ways of my body with PCOS. And I heard somebody talking about PCOS like sometime last week, and I just wanted to bring it up and shed a little light on the fact that PCOS is ghetto. and it's not enough people talking about this, and I feel like there are more people than what we know. Even looking back at some of my ancestors and just certain attributes, physical attributes that they have, makes me wonder if they also have PCOS. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with PCOS, it is polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is an endocrine disorder that many women struggle with, and it causes hormone fluctuation and imbalances in the body, which presents itself with a myriad of issues. For sometimes people have it very well under control. Like, I had mine very well under control for years, and then my dad passed away, and for 2 years I've been trying to like really stabilize my PCOS. And really what that comes with is just having a better lifestyle altogether. And it's crazy because I don't eat poorly. I'm gonna have me a little something every now and again. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, what I like to have. But for the most part, on the day to day, I eat pretty good. But having this condition, for some people, it is more difficult to lose weight. And a lot of what I've been doing for the past couple of years has really been spinning my wheels on what works best for my body and what to do, because I was doing all these high intensity workouts and they weren't really doing anything like for my body. So all that to say, if you have PCOS, I'm in there with you, girl, and I feel you 1,000%. It's difficult some days. Some days I feel more moodier than other times, and I deal with like my cycle fluctuating every month. It's like, am I gonna get a period this month? Am I not gonna have a period this month? What is it going to look like? It's a up and down kind of roller coaster of a thing, but I'm very grateful nonetheless, and I'm just looking forward to the journey of healing, and also looking to connect with other people who have PCOS and may have some of the same experiences that I've had with conquering this syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah. I think even with the increased knowledge and access to information about PCOS and fibroids and things of that nature, as much information is available and as much knowledge is we can be abreast, like, made abreast of, I just don't think there's still enough support or focus on those things and like what they entail. Because I think people just look at them like, oh, you have this is nothing, but it affects so many different things. But I think
Yep.
even with some of the medical providers, they don't even look at it in a way that kind of pushes them to see the severity of it. Like, I think they see so much other stuff that's like a lot worse. And so you're like, oh, well, it's just this. Well, I mean, it's just this, but this is the only thing I have. So that's a big thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, doctors might look at it like, oh, well, it's just PCOS. You don't have ovarian cancer. Like, okay, nigga, yeah, I get that. But this is still a big issue too. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It
so,
doesn't, like, the diagnosis shouldn't minimize, the overall effect and how seriously it's taken in practice.
yes.
So I definitely I feel that, because when I got diagnosed at like 25, and it was like a blind diagnosis to me. Like, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, it was explained to me, but not really in a granular way, and certainly not in a way of explaining how to combat it and how to go about incorporating a different lifestyle. Like, what do you need to do to make sure that you keep this particular syndrome in check? It wasn't really pushed upon me. So a lot of the research that, or I wouldn't say pushed upon me, but it wasn't expressed to me and shared with me. A lot of what I know now has come from my own research, and also having conversations with medical professionals who are well versed in this situation. So I agree with you 1,000%. And that's why I'm saying something about it today, because I feel like it does need to be more talked about across all platforms, and people need to just be aware, because it shows up differently in everyone's body, and it affects, like you said, different things.
Yeah.
So your mental health, your physical health, it's not just your weight. And some people have cystic acne, hormonal acne issues, gut issues. It just depends on the person. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the journey. I do want to jump into sound check, because I went to see Akeem Ali, and I forgot to talk about that. But I saw Akeem Ali the week before I saw Kendrick and SZA. So I had to talk about Kendrick and SZA, but I'm also going to bring up Akeem because Akeem Ali, the show that I got from him, I was not expecting. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know what I was expecting going into it. Like, I was expecting some heat for sure because his wordplay is insane. His music, I like, and judging by your face, are you about to say that you don't like it?
Well, no. So what I'm going to say is that I really liked him when he first came out. Like, I literally used to, like, repost his stuff all the time when, like, during the pandemic and all that stuff, like, when he very first came out, like, 2019, 2020 era, like, Kimi Casanova, Akeem Ali. I haven't followed him much since that time. Okay, so I want to say this, and I want to say this lightly because I don't want to get into this portion of it because it's not just this reason why I don't like this person, but him and like the likes of like the Toby Inigwe type of artists where they came out during that pandemic era and they had this thing, this niche, and they don't seem to know how to grow outside of that. And I think that's what my thing is. Like, for example, it's been 6 years, Toby. We tired of seeing that fucking mint green. Like, I'm just tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me something else. And I feel that way with Akeem Ali. It's like, I get it. Your wordplay is really good, but this little 70s pimp vibe is only going to get you so far. And I think I'm just tired of hearing that. And that's why I don't, like, actually follow his music anymore. It's just because it's all starting to sound the same. Like he's not showing any range to me.
Yeah, so I can definitely see that perspective. I will say that the show did have a funky vibe to it, but I didn't necessarily feel like he was carrying on that 70s kind of persona. He had his hair braided, like he looked different. He's very handsome too, by the way. But I don't know, like I listened to his latest project and I really enjoyed it. I do think that there is some versatility within the project, and it might be worth a listen to you to just see, like, is there or are there any comparable metrics within that or the current album and what he's done in the past. I can see him growing outside of it. I'm curious to see how he goes about doing it.
Yeah.
Like how he goes about flipping that persona, because he is incredibly talented. The way that he structures his music and even the production, which I didn't know that he was a producer. Also, that's also a really cool component of his artistry. But the show was great. I mean, they danced, they played, some really popular tunes. He was on the mic all night. It would wait a minute, pause. Why did I say that? That's not okay. Whatever. So,
that was just a random.
The microphone was on. That's really what I meant. Like he was actively rapping, like no backup tracks or anything like that. And they just had really great stage presence. Him, his dancers, the whole nine. So, shout out to Akeem Ali. I hope that I can make the next show, and I'm looking forward to just seeing him grow as an artist. This is the exciting part, like, for me, is, like, watching people that I've, like, listened to for a minute, like, bloom and see what they do with it, where how they take off with it, and where they go.
So, my person like that is La Russell. Like, anybody that follows me on social media, I am a La Russell stan. Like, he reminds me of a West Coast version of Andre 3000. All his music is it's catchy, it's something you can vibe to, but it all has a deeper meaning under it. Like when you're listening to it, I love the way he has constructed this community. Like he used to have those concerts, those live at the Pergola tour concerts, and this was literally in his mama's backyard. Like, and he had the Bay jumping at one point in time. Now he's just everywhere. So I love that for him. So he's that person for me that I've been watching over time just continue to grow and blossom into their artistry. And I really like it. I really enjoy it because he's having fun with it. And one thing about him, he's completely independent. And he has this setup where you can buy into his music. Like, he literally drops EPs all the time, but you can buy stock in his music, and he is like wanting you to, like, he wants to like give you money back based on what he's doing with his music and all this other good stuff. And so I like that, because he's trying to not only use his artistry to connect the community of black people and younger black people and just the different generations, because he always has older people, white people, everybody at his shows. And then, he's also teaching this financial literacy and all of this other stuff. Like, that's what he was telling people. Like, I live at home with my mama. Like, I'm doing these shows at my mama's garage on her back porch because I got overhead. I'm trying to pay other people. Like, it's so much that he's showing of himself on his journey. And that's why I really like him.
Yeah, that is really important. And I think that's also a critical component for all people to see, especially during the climb of success. A lot of people don't show their downfalls and the struggles. They don't show any of that. They just show like the glorifying parts of the journey, or when they skip to the good parts. But it's important for people to see that, because honestly, we know that comparison is the thief of joy, but social media perpetuates a world of comparison. And when you're looking at people like LaRussell, and you're an artist yourself, and you may have similar circumstances to him, living with your parents, etc., you feel seen a bit. It makes the journey I feel like from that perspective, it must make the journey feel more worth it, if you will. It's just important to see people that's getting out the mud in that way, and for you to know that this is actually a very common way of living.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to you, but I'm completely distracted right now because
all of it
is
not.
Whoa.
I'm laughing because I know what she's looking at, but
wow.
Yeah, it's just important for people to see like the highs and lows of the journey, and for people to share that transparency on the way, because it's not easy. It's very difficult to get even to the point of where LaRussell is, but people don't show that part most of the time. Sometimes they talk about it, but most of the time they don't.
Now, on a lighter note, so I have a question for sound check, and I know you're going to hate this because maybe I should have asked this first so you could think about it.
Yeah. What's the question?
What is one song that immediately pisses you off as soon as you hear it? Like, as soon as you hear the beat drop, it just puts you in a horrible space. I have two.
I Don't Want to Know by Mario Winans, and I feel like we talked about that. That's one of them that I definitely be like, no, I just hurry up and change it. I never liked that song since I was a kid. I didn't understand why it was such a big hit. That's one of the songs for sure. I have several others. You want to know something? And I'm about to say this because it kind of falls under what you're saying. I have a list of artists on my streaming platform, streaming app, that I've blocked because I don't like any of their music. I don't like the way that their voice sounds, nothing. So there are a list of artists that I have blocked, and Rico Nasty is one of them.
I don't even think I ever heard her music before. That's not somebody I even.
But here's the kicker.
And I hate to say this, but I was about to say, we talking about real music artists here. And that's shade.
But she is she is a real artist. I will say she is, very artistic in the way that she presents herself and her music. I'm not downplaying her talent, but for some reason, like at the point when I did it, her like everything just sounds so loud, like when it came on, that I was like, oh, I can't do this today. Like it was just too like loud and like raw in my face when I just wasn't in the mood for that. And it was weird because they were the music that I was hearing from her was being wove into the music that I typically listen to. So I was confused by that. Like, why does this keep popping up? Because it doesn't seem like something that should be in my algorithm. It doesn't seem like something that I would listen to. So I blocked her. And I ain't gonna lie, I've heard some features that she's been on, and I actually liked, the her verses. Like, she's dope. I just don't like, the shit was just loud, and I would skip it every time. To the point where I'm like, is there another way that I could go about doing this, perhaps, where I don't have to even come across it no more?
So it's crazy because before, I think we talked about that, and I think I've told people this in several ways, that Kelly Rowland is one of those artists for me that I absolutely hate. But I have to retract that. I think as you were saying that, I was like, could I block her from my Apple Music? I don't think I could, and the only reason why I say that is because I was listening to somebody else's Apple Music playlist the other day, and I totally forgot. Like This with her and Eve. That song was gonna put me where I got to go, girl. Cause baby, I told y'all I was gonna bump like this. Y'all didn't think that I would bump like this.
Don't ever play
but
with
you know
Miss
what
Kelly.
though? It's not her though. It's Eve. I only like the verse. I mean, I only like the chorus. As soon as she get on the verse, and I hate that. Like, girl, I don't. If you didn't leave a man and leave him home, that I can't do that with Kelly Rowland. It's the Eve that I like. It's her and the ruggedness that she brings to the chorus.
Eve doesn't get brought up enough.
No, she don't. She's definitely the
GOAT
GOAT.
up enough when it comes to women in hip hop.
No.
And
Not at all.
I'm saying it like Eve is that girl. Like, who's that girl? It's
Yes,
Eve.
Eve is that girl.
It is Eve. Like, without a doubt.
But
She's
my
amazing.
song that pisses me off. So in real life, like right now, I'm gonna say Boots on the Ground. I absolutely hate it. As soon as I hear that, I instantly get in like a bad mood. Like, I absolutely get in a bad mood. The other song outside of Boots on the Ground that I would say is Until the End of Time by Justin Timberlake.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Why?
Because
That's such a big hit.
allegedly the person that I was in a high-speed chase with, when I found out later on, like after we had already split, that he was dealing with somebody, he tried to like come back around. You know how they do. He tried to come back around and act like he wasn't dealing with somebody. But the particular day in question, we were in his car together, like going to get something to eat, and his phone started ringing, and this was ringtone time. So he had the little whole ringtone as Justin Timberlake Until the End of Time. And I was like, wow, you like this bitch that much that you put Justin Timberlake? Like, you a street dude. You ride around listening to Lil Wayne mixtapes all day. Wow. And you got Until the End of Time by Justin Timberlake as her ringtone? Like, oh, you really like this girl. Yeah. Like, get me up out of this car right now. Take me home. Yes, take me home. So ever since then, whenever I hear that song, I instantly think about betrayal. And that's weird because, like, I don't even care about that situation. Like I mentioned before, he and I are, like, really good friends. We speak all the time right now. We ain't even on that level. But that's something that bothered me at that time. But y'all also have to realize I was 19, 20 maybe. So I was devastated. Like, I was crushed. And so to this day, every time I hear that song, I imagine myself in a box Chevy looking at his next tail ringing with that song playing.
Well, I would have took his head and smashed it up against that damn steering wheel. So, I'm just kidding. Non-violence, y'all. Non-violence.
So yes, that is my sound check, because that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is really interesting. And Until the End of Time, that's the first time that I've heard somebody ever speak in that way.
And I love Justin Timberlake, and I love that album. But every time that beat drop, I turn the song instantly. It's a rap.
Okay, well, I can see that. I would be upset about that too. That would irritate me. 'Cause what? You should have just took the phone and threw it out the window.
I mean, his life was already falling apart as it was. Like,
You didn't have to do no more, huh?
Like, shortly after that, he went to prison for,
my God.
years, like, over a decade. So, girl,
man.
trust me, they wasn't together to the end of time no more.
Oh, man. I hate
Because as soon as she went to jail, she went missing.
Wow.
Don't ask me how I know, because I definitely was on some Love After Lockup type stuff.
Not Love After Lockup. Hey, Love After Lockup, that show is very wild. I watched that show and my mouth be open. Some of the episodes, I can't believe the situations that people be in.
You know what?
And I be thinking, like, is this for real? Like, is this real life? Or are they playing
watching
right now?
that show, it solidifies things to me. When people be like, God put on you what he know you can deal with. Like, watching shows like that is proof to me that sentiment is true. Because God knew if he put me with one of those people, I would be in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he knows that it is not in his will for me to go to jail. So he doesn't have me dating somebody like that.
Yeah,
because I don't know if y'all watch the show, but this new season, the young boy Julius with the girl Alexis, and she got pregnant, and she was like, "Are you gonna get a job?" And he was like, "I don't need no job. You need to go pick up some more hours." And she was like, "I work 2 jobs and go to school." She was crying. Then when he was trying to leave. Girl, then when he was trying to leave, she's sitting there arguing with him, talking about how I just want us to be together because we neither one of us want our kids to be in a single parent household. When you was in prison, we talked about this. Girl, nigga will talk to you about anything when he in prison. Like, girl, grow up. But to that point, she made a point. Her father was not there. She's begging this man. She done put a tracker on her car. She said she put an air tag on her car. She go to where he is to tell him that she's pregnant. He got 4 girls in the back seat and a nigga in the passenger seat, girl. And they riding around. And when she said, "Give me the keys to my car," he take off and ride somewhere else in the car. That's the kind of stuff. See, and she stood there and started crying. I don't give a damn if the cameras was in front of me. As soon as I looked at him and said, "You need to get a job because I'm pregnant," and he said, "You need to pick up some more hours," I would have knocked every tooth out of his mouth in that very moment. Like, these people are crazy. Because right before that, the scene before that, she's on the phone with her best friend, the same girl, crying, talking about, "He didn't come home last night. What am I supposed to do? He still don't know I'm pregnant yet." So she cooks breakfast. He come in the house and say, "Where my food at?" She was like, "I didn't know you was here. You was coming." But then she like, "I put you a plate in the microwave." Girl, are you crazy?
Gotta be crazy.
Because I would have never even cooked you anything. It wouldn't have been enough. I would have ate every piece of bacon in that pack just to prove to you that you're not going to play in my face.
I feel like people like that, like on those shows, and I could be wrong, but they make me feel like they have low self-esteem.
Yes.
Some of them have low self-esteem, and some of them be playing the game. Like, it's this one chick, well, she was playing the game because she was the one who was locked up. And her and the chick who she was locked up with, her girlfriend essentially ended up getting out. And they were basically pimping this man out.
Oh, you talking about Puppy, Amber and Puppy?
Yes.
Girl, yeah.
You know exactly.
I know. Oh, yes. But see, Amber ended up getting herself together. Remember, like, she ended up getting a real boyfriend. Puppy was still out there tripping.
Puppy was on some bullshit.
Remember the man adopted them and all kind of crazy stuff? Like,
adopted Puppy.
Yes.
And was talking about Marion. What's her name?
Amber, yeah.
Amber, yeah, that was wild. So, I completely see what you're saying, because I be looking at them like, you cannot be serious right now. So I think a lot of them have low self-esteem. The women especially that put themselves in positions to be just worked over.
Yes. But then you get, and some of the men too, because you got men on there who find women that are inmates in there, and like, these people are like, they come out and they're so entitled and ungrateful, and it's unreal. But don't get me wrong, it's a few couples on there that actually, you know, they can tell they get it together. But you know what I've realized, the running theme about that is the couples that usually make it are the ones that had some kind of relationship with each other prior to going in. Like, most of them knew each other before going in, and they get out, and it's kind of one of those things is, I had a chance with you before. Now that I'm getting out, I'm going to do it right. Because there's a couple, one of my favorite couples on there is this black couple, this guy named Rob and this girl named Teeny. I love them. Now, don't get me wrong. One episode, Teeny slapped Rob mama, and I was like, all right now. Now that, and it's crazy because it was up in the air for 3 episodes because she was like, yo mama hit me first, and he was like cussing his mama out like, you put your hands on Teeny, but finally the production ran it back and she actually hit his mama first. But she had already had 2 kids, but he was one of those dudes that was like financially supporting her while he was in jail. Like literally the entire time she was, because they were on Love during lockup at first, and then they went on Love after lockup when he got out. But while he was in jail, she didn't work.
Wow.
He was sending her money and like
what
all the stuff.
For?
Obviously, he was in the streets. Yeah.
Street pharmacy.
He was like taking care of her and all this kind of stuff from inside the jail. And what I didn't like about it is when he did get out, he did ask her for a little bit of time. He's like, can you get a job? And she was kind of tripping about it. But he was like, I didn't say long term. I just need you to help me with just a little bit. You know, he's like, I'm just getting out. I got to get myself together. But they're actually expecting a child together now. They done got married. Like, they're in a different situation. Like, you know, totally different. And I like that for them. And one of my...
like, not everybody on there is bad. Like,
no, not everybody on there is bad. That I was about to bring up another couple. I can't remember. Oh, that was my last one. So it was a couple a while ago. They didn't make it past 1 season. Now they were an insane couple. First of all, this dude was so ugly.
Well, I feel like as soon as you said ugly, I feel like I know who you talking about.
The dude Chris who looked like
The Land Before Time.
Yes, he looked like Eddie Kane. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I know you talking about.
And he was with the girl. So the crazy part is he was with that girl. And remember, he had gotten like beat up in jail. So he had a lawsuit and he had gotten all this money and
she spent it. She ran through that money.
She went and got her vagina rejuvenated.
Why do you need to do that?
That's what his mama was saying. His mama was like, if y'all together, you'd have been in jail all this time. What she been doing with her coochie that she needed to go get it tightened before you get home? Like, she went, girl, yes, like, it was a mess. Like, she spent his money on a BMW and didn't tell him. And then when he got out of jail, she tried to make him ride the train back. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just ghetto. Like, so, I mean, I guess that has been my unofficial segment for Rhythm and Groove, because them relationships are weird. Like, I couldn't be in no relationship with nobody in jail. And it's just, I just feel like it's
even
one
if
thing.
I knew him before, like, I don't
but
know.
that's what I was gonna say. It's one thing to meet somebody after they get out, like, you know, and they've been reformed and all this other stuff. Like, you know, if I was to meet somebody at this age and they was like, okay, when I was 20, I was in jail for 3 years. Like, okay, great. You know, that was whatever. Depending on what you went for, it's not a big deal. But actively trying to be in a relationship with somebody who's in prison or like a long-term jail sentence is asinine to me, because I'm not going to be funny and I don't want to be this conspiracy theorist, but I don't know what y'all doing in there. Okay. And unfortunately for me, I've been inside of enough jails, not as an inmate, but as an attorney, and I can see stuff go on. I've had my clients tell me about stuff that's going on inside these jails. And I'm just going to say, if your man in jail, you just be careful. Because, yeah, like, it's real out here. All kind of stuff be going on.
I can only imagine.
Like, it's a viral video going around. This girl with this dude called his baby mama and was like, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now. Like, it's a dude in here that I'm in love with. Like, I love him. And she was like, are you serious? And he like, yeah. Like, I like this dude. And she was like, wow. She was like, don't tell nobody you know me. If that's your man now. Because I think he got like a long-term sentence. And she was like, hey, if that's your man now, don't tell nobody you my baby daddy. But he called home and was like, before you even hear it, I'm telling you right now, yes, I got a man. and we in love.
That's very scary to think about in some ways. I mean, obviously you have people that will completely be okay with a situation like that. I'm not one of them.
Absolutely not.
I'm not one of them, but hey, to each his own. I do want to ask you a question for Rhythm and Groove. And I saw this question and I just thought about it. What is a boundary that you've had to learn the hard way in regards to relationships or regarding relationships?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm really thinking because it's hard for me to say because I'm strict. It's strict around here regardless. Like I'm not a very vulnerable or open person anyway. So my guard is always up in relationships. Like no matter how long they are, it's real boundaries. Like like not trying to be funny, but
It's real strict up
when
in
me and
here.
Michael were living together, like I used to be like, I got therapy today, nigga. You got to find somewhere to go. Like leave the house. I can't talk. I want to talk to my therapist in
About
private.
you.
I'm not going in the car. I'm not doing none of that. You get up. It's time for you to go to the gym. Go get us some breakfast. Go sit in your car and smoke. Do something. But you need to raise up out of here, dog. Cause it's a boundary. I need to talk. And so
I need to talk about you.
yeah, so I don't really know. Like now that I think about it, and it's weird because maybe before I learned it. So I will say this, maybe it's just the access. So I have this rule and I kind of still have it. It's hard to say because I haven't been in any real situation since I had my son. So it's different because me and Michael, the rule doesn't apply to him because we share a kid. But I had this rule after grad school that if we're dating, you're not allowed to follow me on social media. Because I've noticed that it takes away, depending on the person, it takes away the feeling of like actually needing to know, and it takes away that curiosity. Like I'm very vocal on social media at times. So I didn't like that. I was dating a guy around grad school time or like between grad school and law school. And he used to say like, oh, I ain't call you earlier because I saw that you put on X, Y, and Z that you was about to do this. Like, just because I said on social media that I was getting ready to do this don't mean you can't call me and ask me, am I okay? You know, like, just because I'm doing this, you know, whatever. Or you see a picture of me and you like, oh, yeah, I guess you went out with your friends. Like, maybe that was from 3 weeks ago. Like, you just... It started to like bother me, especially because at that time, you know, social media was like really, I ain't gonna say new, but it was like a newer phenomenon. And it, you know, we didn't have like the going live and all of that stuff back then. And so it was a little bit different, but people were using that as a way to like keep tabs on you. And my whole thing was, no, if you dating me, you need to keep tabs on me the conventional way. So that was one of the boundaries, like, not giving people access to you all the time. Because I would always feel like I had to be available for my man. Like, you call me, I'm picking up. But nah, if I call you and you don't pick up and you call me now and I'm busy, you just missed the boat. Like,
Yeah,
hey, I'm
I've
busy
become a
now.
person like that too. Like I felt the same way, but life be lifing, and I be busy. My partner is busy at times, and I understand that, and that's okay. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going above and beyond for that. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm just screening your phone calls and shit. No, I'm not saying that, but it happens, you get to that point in communication. But I think that establishing that boundary is critical in a relationship. Something that I learned, and it really just aligns with the point of a boundary itself. I had to learn the hard way that the non-negotiables had to be non-negotiable.
Yeah.
They have to be non-negotiable. And shout out to my personal for essentially giving me this new light of understanding that very thing. Because typically I would date somebody who may have had some things that I was interested in, but then he might have had like something going on that was a hard no for me. And I'll give you an example. My ex had 2 children. I did not want to date anyone that had a child at the time that I started seeing him and we started dating. But I was just like, let me just see how it'll go. Maybe it's going to be a different situation than my last. And it was absolutely terrible. It was such a learning experience for me as a woman and as someone who does not have children. It was just a true learning experience. And at that moment, that particular relationship taught me that the non-negotiables have to be non-negotiable, and you got to be okay with that. And you got to just trust that what is for you is not going to pass you by. And so I started dating more intentionally after that, and saying like, oh, you got a kid, I appreciate the time that we spent together, or us talking, I think you're a wonderful person, but I don't want to date anyone that has a child, because I don't have a child myself, and that is a huge responsibility to take on.
But it's crazy that you say that, because that's always been one of my rules. But I wouldn't even get to the point of going on no date. Like, I'm asking you that outright before you even get my phone number, because you can't have it. I don't even want you. I don't even want to converse with you for us. I don't even want to open up the door for me to have to eliminate those boundaries. Like, I don't even want to get on the phone with you and have good conversation and be like, well, maybe, maybe he ain't that type of dude. Maybe. No, absolutely not. I don't even want to no, and no.
Let me not even give you no faith.
No, I don't. And that's it. Like, for even when I get to a point, even if I've even been in situations that even when the guy passes all those checks beforehand, once you start dating them and seeing them, once they do one thing that I don't like, I don't say, okay, well, maybe this is this. I'm hard and fast, and you've seen this. I am hard fast with no.
I've seen it in real
No, I don't call you no more ever again. You might text me and be like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a few days. Great. Well, I will open the message and leave it on read. Once you do it, because what I'm not gonna do is let you slide, and then you turn it into the cha-cha. Like, it's not about to be a line dance party around this mug. Like, we not doing that. And so, yeah, like, listen, I'll put my boots on the ground, all right? I'll put my boot on your neck. Like, we not doing that. And that's just one of the things. Like, once you do something that I don't like, I'm not giving you an opportunity to do it again. I'm not giving you, especially when it's those things, when it's something fundamental. Like, if it's like, oh, because I have a thing about people being late. So if you pick me up for a date late, I'm not going to be upset about it if it's not too late. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Now that's one of those things that I'll let slide. But if I go out to dinner with you and you start talking real hotepish and all that other crazy nonsense, I ain't sitting down to eat with you again. Because if you was talking about this already, you only going to get deeper into this mess later on, and you can keep your hotepery for them other hoes. Okay?
Yeah, that's something that's like deeply ingrained. And, then you start to get into the conversation of morals and values and what you deem is important and how you see your household being fit. And if we're not on the same page with that, then it's definitely not going to work. Like, there is no get around any of this. But yeah, that was a boundary that I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn that the non-negotiables must be non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. You can't bend and flex what your non-negotiables are according to some nice person that he could be the one. Well, obviously he's not, because if you haven't made your list, if you have made your list and these things are hard no's for you, how could it be that this is your person and they check off all the hard no's, or even just one of the hard no's? If a hard no got to be a hard no, it got to be a hard no, and just move along with your life. And I had to learn that the hard way. It was a very complicated situation. It became just a verbal and mental abusive situation, and I was completely unhappy to the point where I was like, what am I doing? And I knew for a fact that it wasn't going to pan out well. Now, I said in the beginning, I told him I don't want to date anyone that has children. He was very adamant about pursuing me, and I allowed him to. And I allowed myself to get into that situation, so I have to take responsibility for that. But after that, you better believe if I met somebody and they had a kid, I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. And let me go on to say this. My reasoning for not wanting to date anyone that had a child is simple. I don't have any children. Even in the work that I do now, like as someone who is well in tune with maternal and infant health and working in the spaces of advocacy and as a doula, that is still a non-negotiable for me. I've been in situations where I dated people in the past that had children, and it did not go well. It didn't go well with their baby mamas being in the background and, having to deal with that, those complicated or multi-layered relationships that come into play. None of that went well. And so being that that was a lived experience of mine, I just made a decision that, I would prefer for my first child to also be my partner's first child. And we're not, we're going through this experience and traveling the journey of parenthood together.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted that too, but that's why you don't settle. Like, people will always say to me, like, I would say that to people, like, I don't want to be with nobody. And they're like, you over 30, who you gonna find and don't have no kids? I found somebody and he's a great father. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it worked out the way we were supposed to. But I'm also gonna say too, you don't owe nobody the explanation. People used to ask me all the time, why you don't want to date nobody with kids? Because I don't. And I don't have to explain it to you. That's not, it doesn't matter. It's my preference. Right. Some people, I know a lot of black women who only date white men. I would never. I don't ask them why. That's who you like. That's who you like. I don't want nobody. I mean, my reasoning is kind of similar to yours, but I don't even look at it like that. I've never dated anybody with kids, to be completely honest. I had a situation where I did date somebody, one person, which is weird. I take that back. Two different situations. I did date somebody briefly with a kid, but his situation with his kid was kind of different. And by the time we dated, his child was like 13 or 14. So it was different. But I remember way before, when I was in my 20s, I was being courted by someone who was a professional athlete in Atlanta at the time. And he was heavily pursuing me, like looking for me when we were in the same social circles. So when he saw my friends and I wasn't there, he was asking about me. He was calling. If I didn't pick up, he was looking for me. Like, he was heavily pursuing me. We finally get to a point after weeks, and I mean weeks, of going out on dates, going to bowling, going to dinners, going to parties, games, all kinds of stuff. I finally went to his house. And I laugh because people hear this story and they like, girl, you petty as hell. But I remember going to his house. Once again, I'm in my 20s. So, I drive my little Aveo all the way out to where the people for his team usually live, because they lived in like a secluded little area. And so that's kind of like 45 minutes from where I was living. I drive all the way out there. We supposed to be spending the weekend together. He tell me to pack this bag. I go. The very first night I'm there, he like, I'm about to hop in the shower. He's like, you can get in the shower after me. In my 20-year-old mind, as he's in the shower, and I ain't gonna say, I mean, I wasn't 20 per se. I was probably like 22, 23 maybe. But I wasn't even 23 yet because I hadn't bought my house. So probably like 21, 22. And he gets in the shower and I'm being nosy. And I look on his dresser and I see a birth certificate. And I'm like, why does this nigga got a birth certificate in a frame? I look at the name and it doesn't strike me, because at this time, with the name that was shown was his government name. So, but I didn't realize that it said the second after that name. Like, I saw the first and the last name, and I was like, okay. And then I knew his birthday. So when I looked at the birthday, I was like, that's not his birthday. And I looked at the year and I was like, this is your son's birth certificate. You have a child. And he was like, yeah, he live in my hometown with my baby mama. And I was like, okay. It wasn't in the same state. He wasn't from Georgia. So he was like, she ain't here. My son there with her, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. That very night, to this day, you could ask Bridget. I texted them and was like, oh, this is it. I was like, I'd never come back over here again. I never even stayed the whole weekend. I went on a Friday night. I wasn't supposed to leave till Saturday afternoon. When he told me he was getting ready to go to practice and weight training, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go home right quick. And I never came back. And because even professional athlete or not, my boundary was, I don't do men with children. You have a child. The child wasn't even 2 years old. Come to find out, maybe 2 years later, like, why I done moved on in a totally different relationship, wasn't thinking nothing about him. I don't even think he was playing on the team no more. We like cross paths on social media. and he'd have had another baby by the baby mama. And I'm seeing that's exactly why I did not give you the time of day, because all it was gonna take for you to go to your hometown to visit your son and your family, and you sticking and dicking in your baby mama, and now you got another baby on the way. I knew in my early 20s that it was a hard no, and that is the exact situation, because he was the first time that I have ever encountered a dude with a kid, because even the guy that I had dealt with that was older than me when I was in college, he didn't have any children. Like, none of the people I ever dated in college had kids or anything like that. So he was the first person I ever dated with a kid. And that situation right there let me know that you don't even, I don't care who it is, you don't excuse what your requirements are, because you already know how it's going to end. Like, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it happened.
And again, like you said, we can't change what our requirements are. And I had to learn that shit, because I'm like, yeah, he's nice, he's this, he's that. But no, you don't like this particular situation. In this particular situation, someone having a child or children, and in my case, children, my ex had 2 children at the time. That's a big factor. It's a big factor no matter how small somebody tries to make it seem. So yeah, I just wanted to ask that question, and I'm glad that we were able to share insight on that with one another.
Hey, just to add a little bit more, y'all know I be putting y'all in my business. So what's really awkward about this whole situation with this guy is that he ended up coming on TV, like, well after this whole situation. Like, when I'm talking about coming on TV, I'm talking about, like, after I had my son, me and my baby daddy sat around and watched him on this show, on this dating show.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
And it's funny because every time we watch the show, Mike would look at me and be like, you really like this lame nigga? Like, he would be like, this the dude that you was going to be with? And I'm like, no, I wasn't. Clearly, I walked away from the dude. But it's funny because, like, now I look at it and I'll be like, oh, wow, this is so crazy. Like, you know, just that, like, I can tell people all these stories about people I've dated, and then, like, when people see them, Michael be like, oh God, like, really? It's so crazy. Like, that being in Atlanta was such a weird time for me. But yeah, it's like watching him on that show, and he was like on a dating show trying to date this girl, and it was just a disaster. Like, nonetheless, yeah, that was interesting to, like, see him after all them years, like, on this show. He's going bald too.
Oh. Well, maybe you need to mail him some Tash time.
He ain't get nothing from me.
Help him out a little bit around the edges. I do want to share, like, this really cool find that I came across. I came across a Black Panther cookbook. And I found this book just randomly on my lunch break. Sometimes I will just stop at, like, local stores in the area. And I happened to stop at a comic book store that's near my job. And I just wanted to go in there to see what they had. Like, I'm not really a big comic person, but I really was just going there to be nosy. And, you know, they have, like, the Funko, like, figurines and stuff like that. So I just wanted to see what they had in this store. And I came across this cookbook, and it was on sale. It was, like, in their clearance section, so I bought it. Inside of this book, it has really cool comic sketches inside of it. And then it also has, like, it tells a story about Black Panther. And if I'm not mistaken, about the making of, like, the movie. Like, some of the, like, some granular details about things. But what is also really cool about this book is that it has recipes from Africa throughout this book. So what I am thinking is that I want to host a dinner party based on the recipes in this book and try out the recipes and see how they taste. I haven't decided, like, how I'm going to go about it, but I definitely want, like, my guests to come in, like, Wakanda attire, and we're going to sit and have food from this book. Doesn't that sound like such a diamond thing to do?
It does.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you will be able to make it and you won't be out of town because you're invited.
If I got to be in theme, I won't be there.
You said if it's going to be a theme?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm not dressing in no kind. Like,
You went to a theme party recently, and you dressed up for that.
what theme party did I go to recently?
You went to like a cowboy.
No,
boots on the ground
was
party.
Joel's Easter hoedown.
It was a hoedown. That's a
But
thing.
he didn't do nothing of the sort. That's what he called it. And I didn't wear no cowboy boots. I had on some colorful snakeskin boots, y'all, and a gray spandex one piece with a white top. I didn't have on no cowboy hat or boots because I do not. I wish our black people would get released from the shackles of this rodeo theme. Every party that I've seen on the internet since March has been a fucking rodeo, and I'm sick of it. Y'all making
snakeskin boots were close enough. Put your boots on the ground.
Y'all making these kids don't even know what these damn cowboy boots is. Y'all making these first birthday parties rodeo theme. Y'all doing this just so y'all grown folks can get drunk at the end of the party and do a fucking line dance. Stop. These kids don't want this, okay? Other grown folks don't want this shit. Like, I hate going somewhere.
Kids be kids.
Like, I've been to so many functions lately, and then other people will come up to me and be like, girl, they about to play boots on the ground, and I'll be like, and you about to get out of my face with that bullshit? Like, it is absolutely unreal. Like, I don't care about that.
Listen, I get it. It is a fun time, but, you know.
And I'm not dressing up in no Wakanda theme, nothing.
I do get tired of seeing the same themes, like, after a while. It's just like, okay, like, we can wrap this up now, but I feel like Beyonce has had a big influence on that too.
And that's another reason why I don't care for it.
It's been like a heavy rodeo theme lately, which I'm not completely mad about. I just see it quite often, and I'm just like, okay, like, let's do something else.
I'm just tired. But, like, everything is like that. That's why I'm from an era where it wasn't all of this stuff. Like, you had to tell other people what other people was doing on the other side of town because nobody knew. All this social media stuff, once again, is too much accessibility. We need to bring back gatekeeping, okay? Y'all had these nice functions. Don't keep putting them on the internet. Let people at your party know what the thing was, and then they can go out and recreate it on a smaller scale and stuff like that. Y'all post all of this because guess what? I'm so tired. I was so tired of them color parties. Baby, them color parties was going. Listen, them color parties was doing numbers. Everybody and their mama wanted to have a color party, and niggas was never doing it right.
They were.
Like, so that's what I just be like. Black people always want to have a theme, but black folks don't never want to be in theme. And those two things don't match to me.
No, I get it. That seemed like,
because even with the party I went to, it was the Easter hoedown. So my drink, my peanut butter and jelly martini. My first thing I did was stop at the store. I got a bottle of peanut butter whiskey because it's a rodeo, right? It's a hoedown. Whiskey, right? That's what whiskey, bourbon. Everybody like, you ain't bring no tequila. When the hell do cowboys take tequila shots? Like, if we're going to be on theme here,
drinking whiskey.
That's just like, I hate when people do stuff like, and then once again too, like, I'm not saying be a culture vulture, but I'm saying, like, if you're going to partake in other cultures, partake and actually experience them. Like, stop doing black nigga shit. Like, stop going to have sushi and ordering margaritas. Order sake. Actually make it an experience. Like, don't just be like, oh yeah, I'm about to get this. Like, get you some sake, get you a different type of beer. Like, order different stuff. Like, I just, when we went to Brazil, we had crapianas the whole time, ceprianas. People like, what is that? It's a Brazilian cocktail. Everywhere we went, we were ordering them. I can't order that in America. I wasn't getting lemon drops and strawberry margaritas and all that.
I feel like that's part of, like, the experience and a reason to travel and to indulge in other cultures. If you're going to do so, is to try something outside of the norm, outside of your typical taste palette, especially when you're abroad.
Yes.
Like, why aren't you trying the national dish of whatever country you're in, or local snacks and things like that you see? Why aren't you?
We went to true Brazilian steakhouses, like, different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's my thing about the theme. Like, if you're gonna go theme, go all the way. Like, and I just hate that people always want to do themes but don't ever really want to go all the way.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm with you on that. You want to know something that's a fun fact about me? Speaking of cowboy boots, since we're on the topic, my one of my family members, well, she's a friend of the family, bought me these white cowboy boots when I was a little girl, and they could not get them on my feet because I was screaming and hollering about them fucking boots. And my mom was like, "What is wrong?" They said every time they try to put them on, I would just fall out in the floor like I was scared of the boots. And so I'm like, they could never get them on my feet, and so I just never wore these boots. They ended up giving them away. But I wonder why, like, to this day, like, because, like, I vaguely remember that, but my mom and, like, my aunts, they would not let me, like, ever forget. Like, yeah, you was scared of them boots. That's why we could never get them on.
That's crazy.
And to this day, I've never owned a pair of cowboy boots. And I'm not sure what it is about the cowboy boot. But, hey, it might be something to think about. I do want to jump into our Counsel and Confessions segment because we have
Who's reading
we had a
this?
spicy confession last week.
Who's reading this? Am I
We
reading
got a
this?
spicy confession this week.
What?
And Tasha's gonna read it to you.
Ooh, because okay. Yeah. Okay, so.
And wait, before you get to reading this confession, let me use this time to share with you all. Of course, we are accepting your questions and your confessions. Send it to us at thesoulfulstir@gmail.com. We want to hear your stories, and we want to hear from you.
And they don't have to be.
They don't have to be this spicy.
Yeah, they don't have to be sexy confessions at all. Like, tell us how your stepdaddy made you mad and you put X-Lax in his beer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be anything. Tell us about when you stole that money from work and you didn't get caught. Like, it's just a confession. It could be anything. Like, did you put a Snicker bar in your baby daddy gas tank? Tell us about it. You know what I'm saying? Did you catch him cheating?
Snicker bar in
Tell us about it. You know what I'm
Crazy.
saying? Like, did you talk bad about your future mother-in-law's half wig in a group text? Tell us about it. Because I know I did.
Hey, you just got me, like, my brain is, like, thinking of all the funny stories that I could tell y'all.
I'm just thinking about this
one
time.
of those categories.
It ain't even a real story, but it ain't like a whole story to even fill up a segment. But when I tell you, I dated this dude, and he told me one time about you should do your hair like my mama or something. He told me to go to where his mama go to get her hair done or something like that. And I was like, don't your mama wear a half wig? And he was like, what? And I was like, hey, dog, that's not your mama real hair. Like, this whole time he thought it was his mama's hair. And I was like, that is a half wig. And I was like, and quiet as kept, half wigs are synthetic and they cheap. So no, thank you. Like, no, thank you, sir. But
don't your mama wear a half wig? It's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, don't your mama wear a half wig? And I was so upset. Like, I told my friend, like, this nigga want me to wear a half wig like his mama. Like, absolutely not. The hell? What the hell? What the hell, Auntie?
If you could just lay it across the top.
Like, girl.
Because she wear a fall.
Yeah, like, listen.
Ain't got a fall. Your mama got a fall.
Your mama, because what? Why does she got that? But moving right along to the most interesting part of the recording tonight, of the evening. I don't know how to set this up because this is it's a little bit much. And I'm going to put on my sexy reading voice. This is
the Sweat Hotel.
First of all, is it just me, or do I think it's weird that the Sweat Hotel come on at 6 o'clock? Like, who's really getting busy and getting intimate at 6 o'clock?
You never know.
Because, I mean, but these is older.
It's midnight somewhere.
Grown people got kids. Your kids don't be sleep at 6 o'clock. You still be putting little bodies in the bathtub at 6. Y'all just getting home from school at 6 o'clock.
No, they set the scene around 6. Just go ahead and turn the Sweat Hotel on.
I'm like, God, not at 6 o'clock.
And you'll be ready about 9.
That's supposed to come on at the 10 o'clock hour.
You be ready about 9.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
The Sweat Hotel.
Yeah. Somebody put my 2 a.m. voice on. Read this like it's Masterpiece Theater.
Welcome to the Soulful Suite.
Welcome to the Soulful Confession Hour. This is your girl, Tosh, and I am reading from the book of Confessions. All right, nah, seriously. Okay, so we begin. I was dealing with a guy, and he kept talking about putting a collar on me and whatnot. At first, I was like, nah, but I became open. Well, honestly, this man puts me in a trance. He put the blindfold on me, put the collar on me, and told me to go on the bed. I had to use my core, and I got on the bed, and he starts feasting from the back, if you know what I mean. Then he put 8 inches of magic in me. I'm trying to, these ain't the verbatim words, but we trying to get some sponsorships and some ad dollars around here. So I just got to make it real nice and clean. Back to where I was. Holding my arms back with the chain leash, and he pounded into me. He walks me into the living room, and I tell him to do me by the window so we can look at the view. He has huge windows in his living room floor from the 30th floor overlooking Detroit and Canada. He did me as we both watched the view, pulling on the chain with each thrust. I always have a love for a collar and would definitely do that experience again.
Ooh.
The end. Gracefully
Y'all
bow
be
out.
having some fun.
Because what?
That sounds like everybody had a good time.
And it's going to sound real superficial of me, but if you live on the 30th floor and you got glass windows from floor to ceiling and you overlooking the city and another country, I might let you do whatever to me too. Like I might let you
at the Sweat Hotel.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely Burger King, and you can have it your way.
Or is it the candy shop?
Long as you're giving me that Whopper with cheese. Cut in half.
Flame broiled.
Cut in half, baby. You can have whatever you like.
Extra pickle.
I said you can have whatever you like.
Oh man.
But I feel
that though.
That's very interesting.
I too might let you.
Yes. Like, it's so much I want to say, but I can't say, that I do want to say, that I can say, but I don't want to say, all at the same time. Because, yeah. Like, the right pressure and the right grip around your throat is always going to do what it's supposed to do. But a collar is, like, next level. It's kind of, that's just very out of the box.
Oh yeah, it is pretty out of the box, but
and see that's why
you're right. There are certain pressure points that you could hit in your neck, or your partner can cause magical things to happen. Yes,
and but see, this is where my intrusive thoughts always win, because I can't just take a story like this and just hear it at face value. Now I need to know, like, was this man black or white? You know what I'm saying? Because different level, I feel like, and don't get me wrong, because clearly I haven't had relations with a white man or all black men, or, to make a conclusive determination of this. But I feel like, based on what I've seen in society and things of that nature, I feel like white men be a little bit more kinky or a little bit more comfortable expressing their kinks in a way that black men are not. And that we can take that back and make historical lessons out of that. And we ain't trying to do that. But I'm just saying, I feel like white men are more free to express their kinks and things of that nature, which is why I say, I wonder, was this guy like white or black? Because I've been with some very, very openly kinky black men, and I ain't never had nobody say, I might have put a collar on you, or even think about that. Like, that's a very different kind of kink and a different niche of activity. Not saying that, like, I'm shaming it, but I'm just saying, like, that's a totally different activity. And I just want to know, like, who is this person that thought about this, let alone
and I just want to know what's his number, because I
want to know, like, who has this, like, who got a collar at home, like, and do you just like go around putting collars on hoes, like, with chains? Like, I got a lot of questions. You
probably 4 from Black Ink Crew.
Who?
Remember before on Black Ink Crew?
What was that? One of them other cities? That wasn't New York.
Chicago.
Oh, yeah. See, I never watched anything
You
but
never
New
watched
York.
Chicago?
I only watch New York.
Oh, you gotta watch Chicago, bro. You'll be all in.
Like, so, but, and like, to say that.
It's on one of the streaming platforms, too. Shameless plug if you want to watch it.
And so, it's funny because there's actually a video. I think I saw it today. I want to say, did I send it to you? Maybe I didn't. And maybe or didn't send it to anybody. But there was, a video that I saw on Instagram, I think today or yesterday or something. And it was a white couple. And they were out. And those little, street interviews. And the guy asked the woman, he was like, something about what would you do, or would you peg him tonight or something? And her boyfriend, as she was saying no, he said, I hope she would. And when he heard her say no, he was like, oh, never mind. Like, he instantly clammed up.
So
but
then I would have follow-up questions behind that, because
he definitely
what's going on that you don't know about, man?
Yes, he definitely spit it out. Like, yes, I want her to. But she was like,
She be playing though.
Yeah, like she was like, like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. And it was just weird. Like, I can tell that he was kind of freaked out, that he thought that she was going to be okay with that. And she wasn't. And it came out in public in an interview. And it was just weird.
Yeah, no, that seems like a very interesting interview. And send it to me because I want to see it.
It's crazy because
I want to see
somebody responded to my story the other day and was like, where's Club Angie's? And I was like, girl, it's not a real place. I mean, it is a real place, but it's not a real place.
I'm
like, it is not a real place.
You and your homeboys is not invited. I'm sorry. Well, it depends on who it is. They might be invited.
Yeah, but no.
They might be invited.
So yeah, like, that's what I'm like. I don't like to put that out there and just generalize, oh, black men don't like this, but white men do. But it was just really weird.
I just think that people are becoming more comfortable with expressing what their kinks are, and again, what brings them pleasure. It's becoming more of a thing, and just another thing that I feel that social media could potentially be good for is it's the connectivity of everything, and allowing people to see that, oh, there are other people who actually enjoy this, and like, I don't feel so alone, and I don't feel as shameful or any shame for expressing that with my partner.
Well, speaking of that, oh shoot, I just drew a blank. What was I about to say? I can't even think right now.
We almost at 1:32.
That quick.
I'm just throwing that in there. I'll cut it.
I forgot what I was about to say. So obviously it wasn't important. Oh no, that's what I was ready to say. Did I send you that nasty video the other day where the dude was reading the comments? This girl was on live. So back to your point about social media and just, it's making people normalize the weirdest stuff, because this girl was on social media. Apparently she was on live. And she was like, oh, my God, what am I supposed to do? Like, I guess her boyfriend or whoever was supposed to be coming over. And she was like, and my hemorrhoids are acting up.
Oh, my God.
And somebody in the comment was like, girl, don't nobody care. Somebody was like, I suck on that thing. Like, people was literally reading. Like, the comments were sick. Somebody was like, call me hemorrhoid because I don't care. Like, literally reading the comments. And it was insane. And I was like, what? And it's like, huh? Y'all putting this online? But like you said, social media is like, people will say stuff. And then I don't know if it's, we have to realize it too. I don't know if it's a lot of influence going on, but it's kind of like stuff that a lot of people normally would not normalize. When other people are normalizing it on the internet, it kind of takes this shape of like, okay, well, I guess I can try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it ain't too bad. And so it's just weird to me. Like, that all of a sudden certain things are just normal.
Yeah, I mean, people are normalizing it essentially. Now, I don't feel like everything should be shared on the internet.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. Some things you absolutely should keep to yourself. And that hemorrhoid comment was probably one of them.
Yeah.
But if that's what you like, oh, God bless you. Well, follow us on everything. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Soulful Stir. Send us your confessions and your questions to thesoulfulstir@gmail.com. We will not reveal your name, and we will block out any granular details that you wish for us to. We appreciate you guys more than you know.
Yes, thank you for continuing to listen.
Yes, thanks.
And just rocking with us. Somebody did make the comment to me the other day, and it was weird because this person said they were only like 4 episodes in, but they instantly was like, I can tell, from episode 1 to where I have landed in the catalog, like that I can feel the comfort and that y'all are just consistently getting better. Like he's like, every episode sounds better than the previous one. I can tell the conversation flows differently. It feels more natural, like all the feedback. So we do appreciate the feedback. So I do thank y'all for listening and just tuning in and just working with us throughout the foundation building of this, because we're still building the foundation here.
Yes, I appreciate y'all being along for the ride, and I appreciate that comment because this is new territory for the both of us. Well, Tosh, maybe not so much because you studied communications and journalism, but for me, most definitely, this is new territory completely. So I'm grateful for the support in every which way. So we look forward to you listening next Sunday. This has been another episode of The Soulful Stir.
We'll catch y'all next week. Y'all have a good week and hold them boundaries.
Yes.